I've compiled the top 12 action RPG games from the past decade according to Metacritic. We'll start from 2014 and go up to today. For each year, I'll tell you where the game stands overall. You'll find out if the action RPG genre is thriving or declining. In years where I couldn't pick just one game, you'll get to decide which one is better. Just a heads up, these games were chosen by Metacritic, not me. So don't be surprised and don't hit the dislike button. I don't entirely agree with many of the games in the top, but it was interesting to see what the experts say. Enjoy the video. In 2014, the best action RPG was Dark Souls 2 by From Software, ranking 8th overall with a Metacritic score of 91. This game continued the legacy of its predecessor, solidifying From Software's reputation as masters of hardcore RPGs. The development cost was about $40 million, with total earnings exceeding $200 million. At launch, it had over 80,000 concurrent players on Steam, showing its huge popularity. Critics praised Dark Souls 2 for its atmosphere, gameplay, and difficulty. The game's dark, mysterious world offered countless exploration opportunities and story revelations. Experts noted that From Software managed to preserve the essence of the original while adding many new elements to enhance the experience. Personally, I think Dark Souls 2 is a true challenge for hardcore RPG fans. It demands not only skill development but also patience and persistence. In 2015, we have two standout action RPGs. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt by CD Projekt Red and Bladborne by From Software. Both games scored high with a Metacritic rating of 92, ranking 3rd overall. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is renowned for its open world and deep storyline. Development cost around $81 million, with total earnings over $250 million. It was acclaimed as one of the greatest games of all time, with over 50,000 concurrent players on Steam at launch. Experts highlighted its complex quests, engaging characters, and impressive graphics. Personally, I consider The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt a masterpiece that deserved its numerous awards. Geralt of Rivia won hearts not just with his swords, but with his charm and sarcasm too. I remember playing this game all night once and missing work. Like Geralt, I ended up in a tough spot, though without monsters. Well, unless you count my boss. Bladborne, on the other hand, attracted players with its dark atmosphere and hardcore combat system. Development cost around $50 million, with total earnings over $200 million. It received high praise for its unique style and difficulty. Personally, I think Bladborne is for true hardcore gamers, leaving a lasting impression. If you think you're good at games, Bladborne will quickly show you otherwise. I tried playing it after a long day at work. Not the best idea when your brain is already fried. So, which do you think is better? The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt or Bladborne? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I worked hard on it. In 2016, the best action RPG was Dark Souls 3 by From Software, ranking 14th overall with a Metacritic score of 89. The game was praised for its complex combat system and dark atmosphere. Development cost around $50 million, with total earnings over $200 million. Dark Souls 3 received high marks for its unique style and difficulty. At launch, it had over 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, an impressive number for such a tough game. Experts noted that From Software created a unique experience that leaves no one indifferent. I remember attempting a marathon to defeat all bosses without a single death. I never finished it, but I keep trying, half dead and red-eyed. Personally, I think Dark Souls 3 is for true hardcore gamers. It demands maximum focus and skill, but rewards every victory. The best game of 2017 was NieR Automata by Platinum Games, ranking 7th overall with a Metacritic score of 91. The game was praised for its unique style and deep story. Development cost around $40 million, with total earnings over $300 million. One of NieR Automata's standout features is its combat system, blending elements of slasher and shooter genres. Players can perform impressive combos, switch between various weapons, and use powerful special attacks. At launch, it had over 30,000 concurrent players on Steam. Critics praised NieR Automata for its innovative approach to gameplay and storytelling. The game offers a unique take on the action RPG genre blending elements of shooter, platformer, and slasher games. Experts also noted the game's unconventional narrative structure, offering multiple endings and the chance to replay the story from different perspectives. Personally, I think NieR Automata is one of the most unique games in recent years. It offers players not only engaging gameplay, but also a deep philosophical story that makes you think about humanity's nature and our future. In 2018, the best action RPG was Dark Souls Remastered by From Software, ranking 56th overall with a Metacritic score of 84. The game was praised for its enhanced graphics and still challenging combat system. Development cost around $20 million, with total earnings over $100 million. Dark Souls Remastered received high marks for its updated graphics and hardcore gameplay. At launch, it had over 50,000 concurrent players on Steam. Experts noted that From Software managed to preserve all the best aspects of the original game while adding modern improvements. I remember trying to show a friend that it's not such a hard game, only to end up on the floor laughing and despairing after a couple dozen tries at Ornstein and Smough. Personally, I think Dark Souls Remastered is a great way to return to the world of Lordran and relive all the challenges and joys of this tough game. In 2020, we have two standout action RPGs, Demon's Souls and Cyberpunk 2077. Both games scored high with Metacritic ratings of 92 and 86 respectively. Demon's Souls ranked 6th overall, thanks to its impressive graphics and challenging combat system. Development cost around $30 million, with total earnings over $150 million. It received high praise for its updated graphics and hardcore gameplay. Experts noted that the developers preserved all the best aspects of the original game while adding modern improvements. Personally, I think Demon's Souls is a great way to return to the world of Boletaria and relive all the challenges and joys of this tough game. If you enjoy dying over and over again, this game is definitely for you. Cyberpunk 2077, on the other hand, ranked 41st overall thanks to its impressive world and engaging storyline. Development cost around $316 million, with total earnings over $500 million. Despite its numerous launch bugs, it was praised for its depth and world detail. At launch, it had over 1 million concurrent players on Steam. Experts noted that despite its problems, the game still offers a unique RPG experience. Personally, I think Cyberpunk 2077 is a game with immense potential. It's like going on stage in ripped pants and a dirty shirt, but with time and effort, you can become a true star. This was my first game on a new PC. I remember my game crashing at the most interesting moment early on, and I almost smashed the keyboard my wife had gifted me. But despite all the issues, I returned to Night City, with a whole keyboard and hopes for a better experience. So, which do you think is better, Demon's Souls or Cyberpunk 2077? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe, and like the video to help it reach more people. The best game of 2021 was Monster Hunter Rise by Capcom, ranking 22nd overall with a Metacritic score of 88. The game was praised for its engaging gameplay and variety of monsters. Development cost around $50 million, with total earnings over $200 million. Monster Hunter Rise received high marks for its innovative mechanics and multifaceted world. At launch, it had over 130,000 concurrent players on Steam. Experts noted that Monster Hunter Rise not only continued the series' traditions, but also brought in many new elements, making the game fresh and exciting. Many players also noted that the game became more accessible for newcomers while retaining the complexity and depth for veterans. Personally, I think Monster Hunter Rise is a fantastic continuation of the franchise that delighted both old and new fans. In 2022, the best action RPG was Elden Ring, which took the top spot overall with a Metacritic score of 96. The game was developed by From Software in collaboration with George R.R. Martin, attracting massive attention and interest from players. Development cost around $70 million, with total earnings over $300 million. Elden Ring quickly became a phenomenon, gathering millions of players worldwide. One of the key features of Elden Ring is its vast open world, which can be explored with almost no restrictions. I got so absorbed in Elden Ring once that I forgot about the real world. It ended with me trying to cast a banishing spell on my boss. Didn't work. At launch, it had over 950,000 concurrent players on Steam, setting a record for From Software. Critics and players highly praised Elden Ring for its depth, atmosphere, and difficulty. Many experts noted that the game set a new quality standard for RPGs, offering players an incredible level of freedom and numerous paths to explore. Personally, I think Elden Ring is a masterpiece that deserved its many awards. Even as I write this review, I'm going back to play the recent expansion. I'll be suffering and enjoying the gameplay at the same time. To me, this game is a true gem in the action RPG genre that will stay in gamers' hearts for a long time. In 2023, the best action RPG was Final Fantasy XVI. The game ranked 28th overall, with a Metacritic score of 87, thanks to its epic storyline and impressive graphics. Development cost around $100 million, with total earnings over $400 million. The developers ditched turn-based combat for a more dynamic and realistic system, allowing players to use combos and special attacks in real time. At launch, it had over 70,000 concurrent players on Steam. Critics praised Final Fantasy XVI for its deep and well-crafted world, complex characters, and intricate plot. The protagonist, Clive Rosfield, goes through numerous trials, facing betrayal, loss, and hope, making his story emotionally rich and deep. Personally, I think Final Fantasy XVI is a fantastic game that will appeal to both longtime fans of the series and new players. And finally, for 2024, the best action RPG is Dragon's Dogma 2 by Capcom. The game ranked 39th overall with a Metacritic score of 86, thanks to its unique gameplay and captivating story. Development cost around $80 million, with total earnings already over $150 million. I remember my wife asking me to walk the dog, and instead, I got lost in Dragon's Dogma 2's world and walked my character through virtual landscapes. The result? A pissed-off wife, a peeing dog, and me scratching my head. Dragon's Dogma 2 received high marks for its innovative mechanics and engaging world. At launch, it had over 60,000 concurrent players on Steam. Experts noted that Capcom managed to create a worthy sequel, adding many new elements and improving old ones. Personally, I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is a great conclusion to our list. Now you can judge for yourself whether the action RPG genre is thriving or declining. Don't be surprised if you don't see Baldur's Gate, Diablo, or Divinity here, as they're a slightly different RPG subgenre. And Kingdom Come Deliverance and many other great games aren't here either. That's the Metacritic top for you. Comment below with your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos.